All right, let's dive right into this. Welcome to today's Explainer, where we're taking a journey into the deep cosmos to uncover what is, arguably, the absolute most profound secret in Vedic astrology. We're talking about the ultimate reflection of your true self, your core mindset, and basically your career happiness. It's a concept that has the power to explain those deep, kind of hidden parts of your personality that you've always felt but maybe never fully understood until now.
Think about it for a second. Have you ever felt totally disconnected from your true nature? Or maybe you've wondered why you naturally react to the world in a really specific, sometimes unexplainable way. Well, stick around with me here, because in today's Explainer, we're going to reveal your hidden destiny. We are looking directly into the cosmic mirror to see who you truly are, without any apologies.
So here's where that mirror actually lives. In your birth chart, the Lagna, or ascendant, is represented by that central square right there, the first house. Literally everything in your life revolves around this exact space. Whatever planet is sitting in this box or looking at it heavily dictates your natural instincts, your physical appearance, and your ultimate path to true happiness. It is, quite simply, your core.
Section 1. Earth and Wisdom Placements. Let's see exactly how Saturn, Mercury, and Jupiter build your personality.
First up is Saturn. Look, if Saturn is sitting in your first house, you are probably pretty used to delays. Things in your life happen slowly, step by step, right? You might even struggle with a bit of anxiety or always feeling unprepared. But here is the absolute secret to mastering this placement. You have got to stop the self-sabotage. Saturn makes you incredibly hardworking, but man, you can be your own worst critic. You have to accept that your progress is a slow burn. It's guaranteed, but only if you keep pushing. And remember, Saturn is an old soul representing service. So whenever you help the elderly, you are literally honoring and activating your best cosmic energy. Now notice the complete shift in energy here with Mercury. If you've got Mercury in the first house, you are the eternal youth. You've got this talkative, princely energy and an almost kid-like smile. You truly believe life is for living and having fun. But hey, don't let that fool anyone, because you also have a naturally sharp, highly analytical business mind. You see patterns that everyone else misses. To master Mercury, you need to trust that brilliant business sense, but always, always keep life light. You just aren't meant to be overly serious. Okay, what if Jupiter, the planet of ultimate wisdom, is in your first house? Well, you've probably been called an old soul since you were a little kid. You naturally advise and counsel people. It's funny, when someone wrongs a Jupiter first house person, they don't immediately get angry. Instead, they overanalyze exactly why that person did it. Like, what was their childhood like? What was their thought process? To master this, you have to realize that not everyone operates with your level of philosophical depth. And because Jupiter is this massive, slow-moving planet, do not feel guilty about needing a slow, peaceful start to your morning. You simply aren't built to rush.
Section 2. Emotion and Luxury Placements. We're shifting focus now to the planets that rule our deep feelings, comfort, and desires for the finest things, the Moon and Venus.
So, if the Moon is in your first house, you are beautifully, wonderfully sensitive. But let's be real here for a second. You gotta accept your moodiness. The Moon is the fastest moving planet, literally changing signs every couple of days. Because of this, you're highly movable and multi-talented, like a master of many arts. But if you stay stuck in one room for too long, you are going to get incredibly frustrated. You need to travel often, change your environment, and practice breath work like pranayama to soothe that incredibly fast-moving, restless mind of yours.
Moving to Venus. Venus in the first house means you have a brilliant eye for quality. You're the kind of person who walks into a store and is just like, show me the absolute best thing you have. You love luxury, you love glamour. But remember, Venus is also the planet of sacrifice. You likely over-sacrifice for your family, your siblings, your friends, often going hungry just so they can eat. To master Venus, you must protect your wealth, stop overgiving to ungrateful people, and crucially, this is big, keep your marriage and family life fiercely private to protect it from outside negativity.
Section 3. Fire and Shadow Placements. We now enter our most intense group, the fiery, undeniable ambitions of Mars and the Sun, contrasted sharply against the chaotic, rule-breaking shadow planets, Rahu and Ketu.
Let's talk about Mars. If Mars sits in your first house, you are an absolute powerhouse, period. You have the energy of an army general. You do not like taking orders, and you are unapologetically straightforward. Now, this intense energy desperately needs a physical outlet. So physical fitness, that's a non-negotiable must for you. You're the person who wants the massive house and the brand new sports car. And the thing is, you are actually willing to work relentlessly for it. Never ever apologize for those larger-than-life ambitions. That is exactly how your cosmic mirror is built.
Now, if the sun is in your first house, you are a natural-born traditional leader. You absolutely thrive on discipline, rules, and order. You need to confidently take charge of situations because, honestly, you're great at managing crises. However, because you are so fiercely protective of your reputation and your good name, you can get deeply offended if someone mocks your abilities. To master the sun, step fully into your royal authority, maintain those strict boundaries, and simply ignore the detractors. They don't matter.
This actually sets up a really fascinating contrast. Look at this. On the left, we have the traditional, rule-following, reputation-conscious sun we just talked about. But on the right, we have Rahu. Rahu is the shadow, the illusion, the absolute rebel. If you put a Rahu first-house person in a room full of strict rules, they're going to feel completely suffocated. They are the out-of-the-box thinkers who create completely new paradigms.
So how do you handle that intense Rahu energy? Well, you are a visionary, for sure. But because Rahu rules illusions, you might think an idea is sheer genius when in reality it's a massive blunder. That's exactly why it is critical for you to always consult others before acting. People might not always understand your ideas, mostly because you're thinking way ahead of your time. Embrace that revolutionary spirit. And hey, here is a highly specific, super fascinating remedy for you. Trekking up mountains, especially spiritual ones, is said to significantly boost your cosmic luck. How cool is that?
Finally, we have the other shadow planet, Ketu. If Ketu is in your first house, you kind of live in your own world a bit. You possess this incredibly powerful intuition, constantly getting gut feelings and hits of déjà vu. You're highly original, very picky, and you absolutely refuse to copy anyone else's style. But the most defining trait of Ketu is surrender. You don't want to engage in exhausting physical labor to solve your problems. Instead, your natural instinct is to surrender your worries to a higher divine power, trusting entirely that the universe is just going to handle it for you. And honestly, that brings us to the core thesis of this entire explainer. The most successful people in the world happily embrace their first house personality without trying to change it. Guys, this is huge. If you're a moody moon, be a moody moon. If you're an aggressive Mars, own that massive ambition. True happiness and success, they don't come from forcing yourself into society's mold. They come from the radical acceptance of your inherent cosmic nature.
Section 4. Remedies for your ascendant. Because beyond just accepting your nature, identifying the Lord of your first house is the ultimate key to activating your luck and smoothing out life's obstacles. So, go back to that center square in your birth chart, your first house. You're going to see a number written right there, anywhere from 1 to 12. That number corresponds to your ruling planet, your Lagna Lord. For example, if you have a 1 or an 8 in that box, well, your ruling planet is Mars. If you've got a 2 or a 7, it's Venus. If it's a 4, it's the Moon, and so on. Find your number and find your planet. This planet is literally the captain of your ship.
Once you know your ruling planet, you need to locate exactly which of the 12 houses that specific planet is currently sitting in. Is it in the 5th house, the 8th, maybe the 12th? In Vedic astrology, performing specific positive actions related to the house where your Lagna Lord sits is the ultimate remedy. It clears the path for you. But remember the foundation of all of this. Absolutely none of these remedies will work unless you first unapologetically embrace your core personality traits. You've got to own who you are.
So I'm going to leave you with this final provocative thought. You now possess the blueprint. You know exactly why you operate the way you do, and you have the steps to master your unique planetary energy. The question is, now that you've looked into your cosmic mirror, are you going to spend your life fighting your natural instincts, or will you finally embrace your true destiny? The choice, as always, is entirely yours. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and keep exploring.